Hello, word nerds. Welcome to the dictionary, hosted by me, Spencer. Am I a witch this morning? Very strange. This is episode F146, and let's talk about the words, starting with fluoroquinolone. 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 Say it with me, fluoroquinolone. This is a noun from 1984, any of a group of fluorinated derivatives of quinolone that are used as antibacterial drugs. And I don't have anything else to say about that, because antibacterial drugs, they're drugs that you take to get rid of the bacterial stuff. But I don't know what a quinolone is. So sorry. It's got the fluor prefix, so it's related to fluorine and fluorescence and all that stuff. Okay, sound effect today is going to be, I wish I could make that sound with my mouth. I don't know if I can. I guess I could just try. All right, the next word is fluoroscope. First form noun from 1896. An instrument used for observing the internal structure of an opaque object by means of X-rays. That's how. So, I think these days we just call it an X-ray machine. But back in the day, I guess they called it a fluoroscope. And of course, there was more X-ray talk in the previous episode, but I didn't really know what I was talking about. An example of an opaque object that you can look inside of with this fluoroscope is the living body. Whoa, you can see inside of me with this fluoroscope. What? How is that happening? I remember when I was a kid, there were those like comic books would advertise for X-ray glasses, and you put them on, and theoretically you could see the skeleton in your hand. These were not fluoroscope glasses. No, they were definitely not. I don't know what they did, what they did to make it look like you could see your skeleton, but they did some sort of effect with the lenses that it's like, oh my God, that's the skeleton, and I can see my hand bones. Hand bones connected to the foot bones. Okay, let's go. Now we have the second form. Oh, no, sorry. I quickly have to say fluoroscopic is an adjective. Fluoroscopically is an adverb. Fluoroscopist or fluoroscopist, that is a noun. And fluoroscopy is a noun. Now, blah, 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 sound effect. The second form of fluoroscope is a transitive verb from 1898. Don't know why it's not from 1896, the year that the fluoroscope was invented, give or take. Okay, this is to examine by fluoroscopy. Just taking some X-rays. When did they stop using this word? When were we just like, let's just say X-ray? Now we have fluorosis. Fluorosis, noun from 1927. An abnormal condition caused by fluorine or its compounds. And an example of this abnormal condition sounds very terrible. It's rotting of the teeth. Rotting of the teeth. Caused by fluorine. So is it that you maybe have too much fluorine and you could get rotting of the teeth? Seems like if you don't have enough fluorine, you could potentially get rotting of the teeth, but that doesn't seem like that would be caused by the fluorine because it's a lack of it. So I would assume maybe it's too much fluorine is a rotting of the teeth possibly, and nobody wants this. Fluorosis. Fluorotic is an adjective. Oh, I'm so glad I do not have fluorosis. My mouth is not fluorotic. Now we have fluorouracil. Fluorouracil, sil or sol, noun from circa 1958. It is a fluorine-containing pyrimidine base C4, H3F, N2O2, used as a neoplastic agent to treat some kinds of cancer. Cancer. So this fluorine, that's the F in those chemical symbols that I read. This fluorine, it's getting around. You can use it in all these different types of things. Dental things, cancer things, antibacterial things, lights, camera, fluorine. Next is fluorspar, noun from 1794. The synonym is fluorite, which we had that in the previous episode. That's the transparent or translucent mineral of different colors that consists of the fluoride of calcium and is used especially as a steel-making flux and in the making of opalescent and opaque glasses. It's also called fluorspar. Next is fluoxetine. Now, I feel like I have heard of this one. Fluoxetine. It is a noun from 1975. Well, it's pretty recent. It is an antidepressant drug, C17H18F3NO, that is administered in the form of its hydrochloride and enhances serotonin activity. Depression, it seems to come about sometimes when there's a lack of serotonin. I'm sure there's so many other reasons that I would not even venture to take a guess, but serotonin is like the thing, it's not a drug, it's like a hormone or something in your body that when you got it flowing, you're like feeling good and great and blah, blah, blah. And so when you've got a drop in the serotonin, that's when you're like, nah, I don't feel so good. I'm feeling kind of depressed. I don't like the world. I don't like myself. I don't want to get up, blah, 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 all those things. And so fluoxetine, which has this fluorine in it, is it the fluorine? That's the right word, right? Yes, fluorine. It has the fluorine in it, and, it's going to bring back the serotonin. It's going to do something to make you feel better. Enhances serotonin activity, boosting the serotonin. Yeah. Okay, so this word is from the fluor, the fluor from fluorine. So it's the FLU from fluor, the OX from oxygen, the T, I guess it's just the letter T from methyl, and then the INE from amine, fluoxetine. Those are all the parts, all the chemical structures coming together, and they're like, well, we can't call it fluoroxymethylamine. No, that's too much. We will shorten it slightly to just fluoxetine. Yeah, definitely heard of this. I've never taken it. I've never taken any drugs for depression, but I've heard of people doing this, and can't remember a specific time where I heard this word, but I've heard it out there, in the world. Is it safe? Are people still using it these days, 50 years later? Are there better things? I don't know. If you take fluoxetine or have, I'd be curious to hear what your experience was like. Now we have flufenazine. Flufenazine. All right, it looks like we're done with the fluor words. Possibly. Let's see. Let's find out. We might not be. It is FLUPHENAZINE. Flufenazine. Noun from 1959. Yes, this is still fluor related. It's our last one. It is a tranquilizer, C22, H26, F3, N3, OS, used especially in the form of its hydrochloride. I assume that hydrochloride, that's the second time we've seen this, is like a water-based thing. I would assume hydro makes me think of water, so maybe they're putting this flufenazine in a liquidy water situation, and there's a friggin' gnat or something flying around me, and I don't like it. Get away. So yes, it's okay, get out of here. Get out of here. The flufenazine, it's a tranquilizer. It's gonna make you sleepy. I don't know more about it, and it's from 1959. Yeah, fluor plus phenazine. Okay, next. The next word is the first form of the word flurry. My sound effect is kind of like a flurry, although for that I probably would have gone very similar. All right, this bug is really starting to bug me. So flurry is a noun from 1686. Number 1A, a gust of wind. Just a little gust of wind. It's a flurry. 1B, a brief, light snowfall is a flurry. Yes, we got the flurries coming down. Let's see. Right now, it is the end of March in my time, and in the Chicago area, we are almost guaranteed to get another flurry of snow, probably in April. It happens every year, although with climate change, we've definitely been getting less snow. So I'm sort of 50-50 on if we're going to get another flurry. I could see it happening. I think it might. But it's getting less common to get these little flurries in the spring. A brief, light snowfall is a flurry. Number 2A, a brief period of commotion or excitement. Oh, there's a flurry of talk happening. Oh my God, there's some news. So the president just did something crazy again, and so there's a flurry of excitement at the news channel station house. 2B, a sudden occurrence of many things at once. The synonym is the number 2 definition for barrage, as in a flurry of insults. Oh my God, I'm getting insults from everybody. There's 10 people standing around me, and they're all insulting me at the same time, and I can't hear a single one. Can you just tell me one at a time? I don't need a flurry of insults. Give me just one insult at a time. I can take it. Number 3, a brief advance or decline in prices. A brief advance or decline in prices. So all the prices are all going up quickly, or all the prices are going down quickly. It's a flurry either way. But also a short-lived outburst of trading activity. So yeah, we're talking about the stocks and stuff. Oh, there's a flurry of people selling their stocks, and so the prices are changing accordingly. Okay, that was that for that part, and I got to tell you that this is probably from the word fleur, F-L-U-R-R, which is not in the book. That means to throw scatteringly. To throw scatteringly. So it's like what? Throwing snowballs in all random directions. You got people all around you sending you the flurry of insults, and you got snowballs, so you're just throwing them scatteringly. But it doesn't say what language this word is from, and it's not in the dictionary. Fleur. I wanna take a look. Let's look up the word fleur on the good old computer box. Not flurry. No, a fleur can refer to a whirring or fluttering sound, or to fly or flutter. It can also be a verb meaning to scatter or throw something. But I don't know. Where does it come from? Fleur is also the name of a character in the Lego Mixels series. Yeah, interesting. I don't know. Why has it been taken out of the dictionary? I wonder if this old dictionary that this monkey is leaning up against, I wonder if it's in there, because that book is from the 40s, I think. But here, there's, the good old internet dictionaries have all the words, and I wonder where does this word come from? Let's see. Does it have any information whatsoever? There's too much to read. There's really not a lot of information in there. Fleur. Oh, see, this is the thing. I'm reading this book, and it's got thousands of words in it. It's got thousands of pages even, but not all the words are in here. Why? They had to get rid of some at certain times. Okay, so fluor, that's a new word. Throw scatteringly. Now, the second form of flurry is a verb from 1749. We are starting with transitive. To cause, to become agitated and confused. And intransitive is to move in an agitated or confused manner. I'm in a flurry. I'm so agitated. I got so agitated because when I got to work, there was a truck blocking the driveway to the parking lot. True story. I'm so agitated, so I'm walking around in a flurry, and I can't feel better because I just want to stay in a bad mood. Flurries. It's like my brain neurons are throwing things at each other scatteringly. Now we have the word flush. First form. This is actually our last word. Flush. Verb from the 13th century, starting with intransitive. To fly away suddenly. Really? So what, like a bird or a bug? When they flush away, they fly away suddenly? When you try to catch it, when I try and snag that stupid little bug in here, it just flushes away. Okay, I don't think I've heard of flush used in this way, but what else do we got? We got transitive. Number 1, to cause to flush, and the example of the thing that is flushing is a bird. And so when you are a child on a beach and there's a bunch of seagulls, you run at them, you are flushing the birds, making them fly away. Number 2, to expose or chase from a place of concealment. Ah, yes, this one I'm more familiar with because I am constantly chasing away things from their concealment. The example is flushed the boys from their hiding place. Flushed the boys from their hiding place. Some of these examples are just a little odd. The boys were hiding. Maybe they're hiding in their forest fort. A fort in a forest. What was it? Was it it? Did they have a fort in the forest? I think it was it. Maybe it was something else. And somebody came and said, "No, you gotta get out of here. You can't hide in here. I'm flushing you away." Flush out anything that's hiding. Flush them out of the rabbits in the bush, the military in the trees. So let's see. Do we have? This is from the Middle English flushin'. That's all it says. Let's see if we get more etymology. The second form of flush is a noun from circa 1529. Number 1, a hand of playing cards, all the same suit. If you were confused about the different poker hands, a flush, this is a reminder, a flush is when you have all the cards that all have the same suit. It's either hearts or diamonds or clubs or spades. All of your cards, you got to flush. It could be 3 cards, 5 cards, whatever it is. All the cards that you're holding on to that you're going to put down or whatever, they all have the same suit. They're a flush. I don't know why. It's called a flush. The other one that people sort of mix it up with is a straight. Makes sense when you think about it. They're numbered 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They are all the numbers straight in a row. But then sometimes you can have a straight flush, which is the numbers in a row. Could be any numbers, but they all have to be in a row, all of the same suit, and that is much more rare than a straight or a flush. So, but specifically, we have more for this flush card hand. A poker hand containing 5 cards of the same suit, but not in sequence. That's the thing. They don't have to be in sequence. It says to see the poker illustration. Oh, good. We're going to get all the poker information. Number 2, for flush, is a series of 3 or more slalom gates set vertically on a slope. And I think this is about skiing. When you're skiing down in a competition, they put those gates. You got to go left on some and right on others, and they're different colors, so you got to go back and forth and back and forth. You're slaloming down the hill, but specifically 3 or more of them set vertically on a slope. How does that how I don't really understand. The slope is I don't fully understand this vertical aspect of it. But there's a flush because there's what was it, 3 or more slalom gates set vertically on a slope. This word, we have more etymology from the Middle French, flux or flux, which is from the Latin fluxus, which means flow or flux. So it's a flow. I mean, the one on the slalom makes kind of sense, but I'm trying to think of how we're using this with the cards. I think of a sequence of numbers as more like a flow. They flow from one to the other. Flux, yeah, I don't know. Maybe when we get to the word flux, we'll get that's in 2 episodes from now. We'll get a little bit more about what it was flux mean exactly. Yeah, don't fully understand the poker hand one, but that's okay. I'll survive. Now we have the third form of flush, noun from 1529. Number 1, a sudden flow as of water. All of a sudden, the water is flowing, maybe kind of quickly, and so it's a flush. And, in the toilet, this is what happens in the toilet. When you're done doing your business, you got to get the business out of there. So you got to hit the button to make there be a sudden flow of water. I don't know if there's going to be another toilet-related definition here, so, that one makes the most sense. But specifically, here we go. We got more. Also, a rinsing or cleansing with or as if with a flush of water. Yeah, a flush. Maybe when you're washing your hands, that's in a flush of water. But, also just cleaning out that toilet, that's a flush. I think it was it All in the Family was the first TV show to have the sound of a flushing toilet. I think that's what it was. Could have been something else, but I believe that was the first TV show with a toilet flushing sound. Because before that, people they were like, oh, this is a private thing. People should not be hearing the flushing of a sound. Even though we all hear it all the time, multiple times a day, we can't put that in our children's ears. So, number 2A for flush, a sudden increase or expansion, especially sudden and usually abundant new plant growth, as in the spring flush of grass. Right now, as I'm recording this, we are starting to just get the beginnings of the spring flush of plants and flowers and grass and buds and all those things. They're just starting. I'm starting to see just, a little like inch of green plant things poking up from the ground. And it's gonna really explode soon, I think. And then maybe we'll get a flurry of snow. Okay, now we got 2B. A surge of emotion, as in, felt a flush of anger at the insult. When all those people were flurrying me with insults, I started to feel very angry, and my emotions got all flushy and flurry, and maybe my cheeks got red, because my emotions were flushing and blushing. 3A. Here it is, a tinge of red. Yeah, this is definitely related to what we were just talking about. The synonym is the word blush. Yeah, you get flushed and blushed in your face when you've got a lot of emotions happy. Could be angry, could be embarrassed, could be happy, whatever it is. It's a flush and a blush. Number 3B, a fresh and vigorous state, as in the first flush of womanhood. So there's some layers here, because this is 3B. It's related to 3A, which is a tinge of red, which could mean multiple things. A fresh and vigorous state. Okay, yeah. We'll just you can just think about however you want to think about that. Yeah, there's interesting definition and example, I guess. Number 4, a transitory sensation of extreme heat, and it says compared to hot flash. This all of these 2B, 3A, 3B and 4 are all sort of connected in a way. There's this sort of evolution that these definitions have taken. Yeah, a hot flash. So, typically, people who are born a woman with a uterus and all the hormones that come along with that, when they get to a certain age, whatever that is, 40s, 50s, 60s, God, I guess it's probably really starts in the 40s for most people. They tend to just randomly in the day get a hot flash, get this what were the words? A transitory sensation of extreme heat. All of a sudden they feel so hot, and it's transitory, sort of because it just sort of goes. Maybe it goes as quickly as it comes. I don't think these last very long, but yes, extreme heat. Half of the population will not experience this. Although I do think that men, people born as a man, whatever, with those pieces, when they get to a similar age, their hormones are starting to fluctuate and adjust and change, and so I think that they could get something similar. But it's not quite the same. It's much more extreme in women. I'm being very generalized in my words here, of course. The hormones, they do weird stuff in the body. Oh, you hormones. So this version of flush is perhaps modified of the Latin fluxus, which we kind of saw before. So, yeah, flux, I think of things in flux, adjusting and changing, and yeah, I see a connection. And now we shall go on to our very last one, which is that's a crappy sound of a toilet flush. This is the 4th form of the word flush. Verb from 1548. We are starting with intransitive. Number 1, to flow and spread suddenly and freely. To flow and spread. Well, I am going to flush some butter on a bagel later this morning. Is that the proper way to use this? I'm not so sure, but I like it because it had the word spread, and I'm going to spread the butter. I'm going to flush the butter on the bagel. The bagel will be freshly flushed with butter. It is, of course, dairy-free butter. Suddenly and freely. I will be very free with the amount of butter. I will be liberal with my butter, but also suddenly. So I have to do it very quickly. I have to butter that bagel quickly. And that's a flush. Number 2A, or it is flushing. Let me use my words properly, please, and thank you. Number 2A, to glow brightly. To glow brightly is flush. So a lightning bug's butt is flushing. The lights around me are flushing because they are glowing brightly. Anything else that I can think of that is glowing brightly that you could call flush? I don't think I've heard it used this way. Flush. The lights are flushing. What else is glowing? Glowing. There's glow in the dark things that are flushing. Sure, whatever. 2B. Maybe this is what is glowing brightly. The synonym for 2B is blush. Again, when you get that sort of embarrassed, whatever it is, whatever that emotion is, your cheeks, they get all red and blushy, so you are flushing. So you could say that your cheeks are glowing brightly with the red tinge. 3, to produce new growth, as in the plants flush twice during the year. They produce new growth. These specific types of plants, they are flushing twice a year. They are growing new things twice a year. I don't know what kinds of plants these are. But I will call out, because we've seen a few plant examples here in this episode, there's a brand new episode of the Podcastologies that's all about taking care of plants. And I am not a plant person, but I'm here. I'm like the only person at the office who comes into the office every day, and so I have been tasked with watering the plants in the office. And so I'm not like learning about plants, but they're a little bit more a part of my life, like once a week. And so, it's like, oh, yeah, they're talking about things that I can sort of relate to now that I am dealing with these plants a little bit. And I think even for people who do know plants very well and take care of plants all the time, I think this episode is probably going to help you in some little way. And then if you want to get into taking care of plants, oh, you're going to learn a lot. You're going to learn so much. Okay, now we have number transitive. Number transitive, number 1A, to cause to flow. Flush. I'm going to cause my feces to flow down the toilet pipes when I flush the toilet. 1B, to pour liquid over and through the woods. Over and through the woods to grandmother's house we flush. To pour liquid over and through, especially to cleanse or wash out with, or as if with, a rush of liquid. Flushing. I'm trying to think of other examples of flushing things out with water. This is the second time I've brought up a neti pot, even though I've never used one. I think that is a fine example of putting the pot in your nose and flushing out all the stuff in your sinuses. There's a rush of water going through your nose. What else? Flushing out your system. Maybe, I had the stomach flu and I kind of had a flush out of my system then. What else is flushing out? You got to clean those pipes. The plumbers come to clean those pipes. They're going to try and flush them out with an intense water flow. Maybe we're talking about all these gross body things today. Maybe you got some wax in your ear and the doctor or somebody at you or with you or yourself will flush out the wax in your ear. I got to do that soon. Okay, so rush of water, that's that. Here we go with some examples. Flush the toilet. Also, flush the lungs with air. Now, the air is a liquid. It's a liquid in a weird form. So if you breathe in, you're breathing in all that air, that flowing stuff. And then it's good to breathe. You should try it sometime. I'll do it occasionally. Number 2, the synonyms are inflame and excite. And this is usually used passively, as in flushed with pride. I have so much pride. Maybe at the Pride parade, everybody is going down the parade and cheering people on, and they're so flushed with pride for their community. They're inflamed and excited. My pride is inflamed. Number 3, to cause to blush. That's it. All right, no more etymology, so we're going to pick a word of the episode. Today we had fluoroquinolone. Fluoroquinolone. Fluoroscope. Fluorosis. Fluorouracil. There we go. Fluorouracil. Fluorspar. Fluoxetine. Flufenazine. Flurry, flush. Okay, which one? Which one do we think is the best? I don't think I'm going to pick any of the fluor words, the fluorine words, because I just don't really care as much. There's some good stuff in there, helping depression and cancer and those sorts of things. Those are very helpful. But what let's see, either flurry or flush. I mean, really, those are the only other options. Let's pick flush. I'm trying to put some things together in my head. I get embarrassed, so I'm flushed. I'm playing cards with the flush. I'm pooping and then I flush. I don't know. I was trying to think of a way to put all those together. Embarrassed on the toilet playing cards is a flush. Whatever. That didn't go how I was hoping it would go, but I'm not that smart. You can come up with a better song. Why don't you come up with a song for all of my words of my episodes? Please and thank you. Make up a song, send it to me. I'll put them in my future episodes. I want to hear what you, the public, you know what? It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Just sing into your phone microphone and do something. Write a little ditty or just do something off the top of your head like I do. Everything is off the top of my head. That's why it sucks. But it's also awesome. All right. Now that the words are done, I will tell you, we watched a movie last night. We watched The Switch. It's an older rom-com. We were just looking through the movies on the streaming service, and we were like, well, we've never seen this. It's not too long because we got to go to bed. And it was, as rom-coms go, it was a little bit more interesting and fun. It's got the standard formula that all the rom-coms have. But yeah, it's about getting pregnant and having a baby, and then how everything happened and the relationships and stuff like that. So yeah, and the kid, we like the kid. He's a very animal activist kid, so we enjoyed that quite a bit. All right, that's gonna be the end of this episode. Thank you for checking it out. Share, subscribe, write reviews, comment. Like, thumbs up, join the Patreon, follow me on social media, dictionarypod or speedjampar. What else? Buy some merchandise. Are there other things? That's it. We're good. This has been Spencer, dispensing information in a flurry of words as usual. Goodbye. Brrr.